and welcome. You're watching Newsx and I'm Megha Sharma. Now, amidst the ongoing war of words after the Ministry of External Affairs clarified that the passport is not a citizenship document, Union Minister Arjun Ram Meghwal has spoken exclusively to Newsx, slamming the leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi over his statements. He said that Rahul Gandhi walks around with the constitution in his hands, yet doesn't know what Article 5 constitutes. Let's take a look.
कानून मंत्री अर्जुन राम जी हमारे साथ में मौजूद हैं। मेघवाल साहब, आज के दिन को बीजेपी संविधान हत्या दिवस के रूप में मना रही है, लेकिन एक और नया विवाद पैदा हुआ है पासपोर्ट को लेकर के। क्या पासपोर्ट से भारत के किसी भी व्यक्ति की नागरिकता प्रूव नहीं होती?
देखिए, नागरिक कौन होगा इसका हमारे संविधान में स्पष्ट उल्लेख है अनुच्छेद 5 में। ये अनुच्छेद 5 है, इसमें साफ साफ लिखा हुआ कि नागरिक कौन होगा। इसके बावजूद भी संविधान हाथ में लेकर के घूमते हैं हमारे नेता प्रतिपक्ष लोकसभा के, और संविधान के अंदर क्या लिखा हुआ पढ़ते नहीं है। कपिल सिब्बल जी तो संविधान के ज्ञाता हैं, इसी में लिखा हुआ है ना कौन नागरिक होगा। अननेसेसरी के मुद्दे बनाते हैं। और वैसे भी जो पासपोर्ट अधिनियम है उसके सेक्शन 20 में भी हमने क्लियर किया है, MEA ने भी क्लियर किया है, बॉम्बे हाई कोर्ट ने अपहेल्ड किया है, उसके बावजूद भी मुद्दा बना रहे हैं अननेसेसरी का। आज तो संविधान हत्या दिवस भी पूरा देश मना रहा है। देखिए किस तरह से 25 जून 1975 को 11:45 की रात्रि, करीब रात्रि अर्धरात्रि का समय था, जो समय के राष्ट्रपति थे फखरुद्दीन अली अहमद साहब, उनसे कैसे दस्तखत कराए सादे कागज पे, और कैबिनेट को भी बताया नहीं। सुबह 6 बजे कैबिनेट करते हो आप, और फिर आप कहते हो हमें इंस्टीट्यूशन का सम्मान करने वाले। आज के दिन संविधान की हत्या की है कांग्रेस ने, पूरा देश।
All right, let's bring in our panelists into the conversation. I'm being joined by Joyita Basu. I'm going to start this conversation with you, Joyita. I do want to understand from you with regards to the situation on the ground. Why is there so much confusion? This has been something that has been etched in our constitution as part of the Citizenship Act of 1955. So a restatement of this particular statement, this reality, has been made by the Ministry of External Affairs. This was on the Passport Seva Divas that was observed, that was commemorated by the country and by the Passport Seva, officers. So why such a hue and cry now?
Well, that is because this issue has suddenly come up. I mean, it keeps coming up periodically, and whichever the government is in power at that time, it kind of comes for some kind of backs. And obviously, it is the BJP's turn now, because earlier also 2013, I think this issue came up. So this is ongoing. So, but it is frankly, but I will tell you, it is a fact that very few people have any idea about this. They do not know. And if you are looking at, say, for example, even for that matter, say SIR exercise, passport is being taken as one of the main citizenship documents. So if we now go in terms of saying that passport does not mean, it is citizen proof of citizenship, then I think a whole lot of things will prove to be invalid. So the whole idea is that there has to be some clarity.
Okay.
Frankly, everybody is totally confused about
it. It is confusing, and I'm going to get Tehseen also into the conversation with me over here. Tehseen, if your passport does not present itself to be a valid proof of citizenship, your PAN card is not a proof, your birth certificate isn't, your voter ID isn't, what does constitute as a proof of citizenship? Or do you think this is an amalgamation of all these documents provided by various government agencies that help the government attest, check, verify, and then give you a stamp of approval as to whether you are a citizen of country?
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me on the show. At the onset, I want to condemn Ms. Basu. Terrible, Ms. Basu. Terrible. You are saying that this is confusion. No, ma'am, this is not confusion. You ordinary mortals don't understand this great government. This government is quantum. Like Schrodinger's cat. The cat is both alive and dead at the same time. You're both a citizen and not citizen at the same time. You're both a voter and not voter at the same time. your voter identity not identity in Aadhaar at the same time. भाई आपको समझ में नहीं आता, आपकी गलती थोड़ी है, आपकी गलती नहीं है. You should understand better. Government knows. Government माई बाप है, सब जानती है. So without passport you're both a citizen and not citizen at the same time. Allow me to explain. The MEA says you're not a citizen, it's only a travel document. But my humble submission to the MEA, I'm not as wise as this government and Ram Meghwal ji. Do you give passports to non-Indians? So hypothetically, if my friend Mr. Bhagat out here gives up his Indian citizenship, can he keep his Indian passport and continue, and it won't be illegal? So, like I said, it is not confusion, Ms. Basu, and I don't understand. This is a government that's living in another theory of relativity. So, they are enjoying the theory of relativity, and this is what this government is all about. They have no solutions to the problems of the common people. What they intend to do, and let me come here, is by this multitude documentations that have a lot of mistakes, they want to harass the common people, want to make them stand in a line, and they want to sort of take away their rights, which this government is doing. And
but then, why are you targeting Tehseen? Why are you targeting this particular government? Because this is the Citizenship Act came in at 1955, which gave a number of these complex and complicated rules that then constituted your citizenship, proved your citizenship in the eyes of the authorities. Then again in the 2013 the ruling that came out in the courts once again emphasized the requirement a large number of documents to then certify that you in fact are a citizen of the country. So why point fingers at one particular government? Yes, can the government at this point of time further streamline it? Maybe just have one single citizenship card like it is prevalent in a number of countries in Europe. United States, of course, has its passport, and that gives you the authorization that yes, you are a citizen of that country. But then in Europe as well, there are citizenship cards that entitle you, that then give you that stamp of approval that yes, you are the citizen of that country.
Okay, so since it's a long question, I'll break it down into 3 answers. Number one, yes, so what we've come down to is blaming Nehru, what happened in 1955. How can we not blame Nehru? I was thinking if we can sort of bring in the Mughals also, but let's blame Nehru for now. So what Nehru did in 1955 should be applicable in 2026 because of course technology hasn't come in. Now let's come to the second part of it. When I was fighting Aadhaar, and I fought Aadhaar in the Honorable Supreme Court, versus me was Tushar Mehta ji representing the government. Tushar Mehta ji on record in Supreme Court said, look, the only proof of citizenship is your birth certificate, but because birth certificate is not practical, it is the passport that is considered, and the government sees it, and that's what is considered abroad. This is a statement on record opposing me when I said Aadhaar should not be linked to mobiles and to bank things. So the government says one thing in Supreme Court, but then does not amend it out here. Now third, yes, 2013 came out a judgment. Who's gone against this NRC? It is Himanta Biswa Sharma ji who's saying, no, the NRC shouldn't happen, so we shouldn't have it. So again, I come down to a basic fact. The basic fact is, today in 2026, I'm not even talking about 2025, 38% of Indians don't have a birth certificate, which is your only identity of being an Indian. As per the Citizenship Act, nothing else matters. 38% don't have it. Why did the government bring in a digitization? So you have a birth certificate, which can be online on your mobile, like you had your COVID cards, which can be on a blockchain, and you solve that problem rather than creating new problems. Until then, don't put 140 crore Indians' lives in jeopardy, or 20 crore Indians who have a passport and many of them who are abroad, put them in jeopardy and a doubtful citizen. One line. If you are abroad, Megha, and I know you travel a lot, if I'm abroad, tell me one thing, what will the authorities abroad consider you as an Indian citizen? Your birth certificate or your passport? I leave that to you.
But it's not as simple as well, because this is something that is followed in other parts of the world as well. Like I said, in example of Europe, unlike in America, perhaps America is one of the few countries which has its a person's citizenship is proved by his or her passport. But when it comes to other parts of the world, there are a number of documents that are required, and therefore this confusion that arises. Jasmine Sandewala, BJP spokesperson, how do you answer all these questions that are posed by Joyita, Tehseen, public in general? We are at the end of the day confused. Which documents are going to give us our proof of identity, our proof of citizenship of our country?
Well, I would like to begin my argument by saying that the MEA has just clarified, something which was already since 1955 in our rules and regulations, that passport is just merely a travel document. And the ministry has just verified that foundationally, a passport is not the only precursor to determine that this is your citizenship. And we all know that there are large amount of illegal immigrants from Bangladesh have settled in West Bengal, and Nepali and people from Nepal have settled in India. And there is a huge when the opposition creates a boogie that the BJP is coming down on these rules and regulations and coming out with these new shenanigans that the passport is no more determinant. The passport will not determine your citizenship. I want to remind them that it was in 1955 that this rule was made. Then the
But do you think there is scope for bringing? Do you think there is a scope for streamlining it?
You see, for a citizenship, your birth certificate, your naturalization status, and there are 4 or 5 things which are determined to make a person a citizen of this country. And passport is not singularly responsible to make you a citizen.
Fair enough, because there is a row that has erupted also because of the recent special intensive survey that revision.
I also want to
survey that was conducted because of a number of these electoral rolls that were revised, a number of people who were removed from the electoral rolls. There were question marks that were being raised whether they are citizens of the country, where a Supreme Court judgment again clarified, saying just because your name is not part of the electoral roll does not mean that you're not a citizen of the country. So that's why that's why this row has been created. That's why the NRC, again an issue that was raised. A number of other electoral roll revision exercises that have been conducted by the government in the recent past have raised this question about who constitutes the citizen of the country. Shivam Bhagat, Congress spokesperson, also on the telecast with Nisham, constructive criticism is something that we are looking at. We are not at this point in time looking at panning the government just for the sake of it, because you're sitting in the opposition. But how much better can we do in being able to make our citizens understand how to go about things when it comes to legitimizing themselves as citizens of the country?
See, the BJP has created an atmosphere where every document issued by the government of India, whether it is an Aadhaar or a voter ID, and now today a passport, is now looked at with fear. Previously a passport was a document that would give you pride, to say that you're a government of India, you're a citizen of India. A prerequisite to get a passport is, when you fill the form of the passport, it says, are you a citizen of India? They ask for your birth certificate, they ask for your plethora of documents. When you go abroad, you show your passport, that means you're a citizen of India. Fine, I understand the legal technicalities that they are mentioning, but why are they creating confusion every single day? Why are they creating fear in the minds of the voter, of the citizen of this country, about these government-issued documents? Earlier they said Aadhaar is not is a proof of citizenship. Voter ID is not part. Then what is? Are you going to start doing DNA testing or some kind of testing to prove that that you're a citizen of this country?
But I would again, like I said to Tessin, Shivam, the rules have not changed since 1955. This is what we have been following. This has once again been raised, because the statement was made by that press conference that was held by the Ministry of External Affairs.
Why? Then it was a needless statement. And it begs the question. Let me finish.
It's not a needless statement.
It begs the question. Can I finish?
Sorry.
Then you can carry on.
Sorry.
If it also begs the question, of why this is being said again and again about certain documents. Do you want to exclude certain voters, certain citizens from the voting list? Is this your ultimate goal and only goal now sitting in government, is to exclude citizens of this country from the voters list? Is citizens who do not vote for you or citizens who are opposed to your ideology? What is now a document for citizenship? Is it like a BJP membership card, or is it an RSS shorts that you own? On a lighter note, what is the?
Okay.
They should clarify then. Then what is the document?
Jasmine, would you like to answer Shivam's
Yes, I would. It is so sad when I'm hearing the Congress spokesperson say that we are creating confusion. This is not something which has been invented by the BJP. BJP came into power in 2014, and the judgment by the esteemed High Court came in 2013. This rule was made in 1955, and for the MEA to reiterate a statement that this is a fact. To say that this is a legal document is not creating confusion. It is the truth. So why can't we face the truth? We are not creating any confusion. The confusion is the mind of the opposition, because it banks on a certain segment of illegal aliens who have these passports.
Now
And
it's come out.
and this is why this is bothering them, because a naturalized citizen, somebody who's
come
been
out.
born here, somebody who's a citizen of India, has no confusion at all. He or she has documents enough.
Citizen of
to
India
support.
has 3 documents which are rejected by the
Okay.
government of India now, and the truth has come
Right.
out from the BJP spokesperson that this is an exercise to exclude voters.
It is not. It
Okay.
is
It's come
not.
out.
Okay.
It
She
is
said
not
it.
at all. It is not
Okay.
at all.
You
I
said
am
it yourself.
saying you
Okay.
cannot deny. When you say that a passport is the precursor that that person is a citizen, that is where I put my debate. That
Okay.
no, it is
Yeah,
not.
fair enough.
Somebody
a
illegal,
passport being a
somebody
travel
in West Bengal,
document, it
somebody-
attests your
somebody in
nationality
Philippines
when
can
you
get
are
a
on foreign
passport.
shows. It guarantees you that you will get consular protection when you are on foreign shores. It gives you an attestment of your nationality at international immigration security checks, but it still does not give you the right to be, or at least it is a document that will prove, that will determine that you are a citizen of the country. Tehseen, come into the conversation, and of course, I just want to make one point with regards to a statement that was made, a question that was asked in the parliament in 2020, whether it was the Aadhaar, your passport, voter ID, PAN, birth certificate could be treated as valid documents to prove citizenship, and to which the Union Ministry of Home Affairs declined to identify any of them as definitive proof. Instead, it said that the acquisition and determination of citizenship are governed by the Citizenship Act 1955, which are the rules that are framed, which again are, a plethora of things with regards to naturalization, whether you're born in the country, and if both or either one of your parent is an Indian, then you constitute to be a citizen of the country, and several other of these clauses. So how do we go about it? How do we, simplify it all for everybody's benefit?
Can I just ask a very simple question?
Yeah.
If the passport is not a document of citizenship, does the government give it to non-citizens? Period. Just ask that one question, you get the answer. Number two, if any of us on this panel were to ever give up our Indian citizenship, which none of us would ever do that, can we then continue to keep the Indian passport, and that would be legal or illegal? And if we are caught abroad at immigration or anywhere else, the only way to get help is it through the passport or through any other documents, or the plethora of documents. If the answer to my top 3 questions is the passport, then all the government has to do is stop blaming Nehru for 1955, sit down on a chair, and instead of running a Beta Badao Yojana of making Nitin Gadkari's son a millionaire and billionaire through ethanol, get down to doing some act that help the lives of citizens
So
and
do you think
simplify
it's
that.
high time? Do you think it's high time the Citizenship Act of 1955 needs to be amended?
Yes, because the Citizenship Act of 1955 came in the year 1955, and as it has a plethora of confusion. Those who are born in between 1947 to 87 have different laws. Post 87, they have different laws. Post 2003 or 2004, Ms. Basu will be better tell me, they have different laws. It is so confusing. Just make it simple.
Okay.
Do that and give the passport as a document, which anyways goes for scrutiny of documents to give it to you.
Okay, all right. Quickly coming to you, Joyita, then do you think, as per the accusations that are being made by the opposition parties, by the Congress, by Rahul Gandhi, we have Shivam Bhagat also here on our telecast, they are insinuating, they are accusing the government of using these loopholes, manipulating these loopholes for their advantage during elections, while making revisions to electoral rolls, deleting names, and so on and so forth.
Megha, the whole point is about citizenship. And I don't think politics is needed in this. What we need is clarity. Because when we are talking about SIR, I have seen it myself that passport is used as proof of citizenship. This has happened. So, and at the same time, if there is a problem, if their constitution is not talking about it, I mean, obviously, there has to be a constitutional amendment. Let us hope, in this case at least, the Congress, the opposition, and the ruling party will come together and, you know, do the amendment. Because you see, that is where the whole everything falls apart. You know, when the opposition and the government, they have to come together, nothing works. Okay, so let us hope. In fact, both parties will have to, both sides, I would say, will have to sit down and take a call on which way to, the way to go forward.
One line.
Okay. Yeah,
Just one line.
quickly, Tehseen. Yeah.
Just one line. I completely agree with what Ms. Basu said. I hope we have a mature opposition and a mature government. But most importantly, the government can get in rules that simplify the process rather than complicating it, as we've seen the way they've done. These are our people. Let's make their lives easier than making it tougher. That should be the aim and the spirit of it.
Okay,
With that spirit, I take your leave. I got to go.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, all right. Shivam, quickly, last word from you. So, do you think it is the need of the hour to bring about huge changes in in a law, in an act that is clearly really old, archaic, and is the government as well as the opposition going to come together in bringing about these amendments without bringing about obstacles and hindrances?
You see, obstacles and hindrances are only brought by the opposition when they are cleverly disguised. Now, again, this passport statement is cleverly disguised, and it came out of the BJP spokesperson's mouth that it is being done for that reason.
Not
now,
at
if they are
all.
trying to exclusion, if they are trying to
It's a very
exclude
typical
certain
Congress
citizens,
attitude.
if they want to very cleverly exclude citizens because voters who don't vote for you, you know, it's all being done by that, and it's very clear. It's very clear as daylight that what is being done.
Okay.
Now, if they want to amend this 1955 Act, yes, it's the prerogative of the government what they want to amend or not. They can put in a bill forward, there can be a discussion, and, you know, there can be changes.
Okay.
But for now, they need to tell the citizens of this country what is a valid citizenship document, because the government is making sure today, right now, with their statements, there is fear and there is anxiety in the minds of the citizens by these irresponsible and senseless statements being made by the government every day.
Okay, Jasmine, is it the need of the hour? I ask you once again, is this the need of the hour to bring about amendments to the Citizenship Act?
Is that for me?
That's for Jasmine.
I think the government is very clear on explaining, on making it very crystal clear through its agencies that whoever the rules and regulations which were formed in 1955 by the erstwhile Congress government and the Congress spokesperson.
Yeah, but do you think the 1955 Act is archaic? There needs to be amendments that need to be made. You think people's life, in our citizens' life in our country need to be made much simpler?
Well, as an Indian citizen, I would think that rules and regulations over a period of time and situations change. And after decades of independence of India, we have different aspirations, we have different challenges. And I'm sure that everything should be streamlined so that the Indian citizen does not suffer. I totally agree. And I agree with the seed that a mature opposition and a government can sit and formulate a good policy.
Okay. All right. On that note, I'm out of time. I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast and sharing your views. And on that note, I slip into a short break. Thanks for watching Newsx.